Hey guys, before we start the show, I wanted to remind you guys that if you have been thinking about starting your own podcast or you have a podcast and it just needs a little bit of help, we have the solution for you. Today's show is brought to you by Idea to Launch Academy, the only multicultural podcast academy that to date has helped launch over 500 podcasts. Yep, you heard that right. 500. I mean, anyone can launch a podcast, but it takes lots of hard work and a solid foundation to have a profitable and successful podcast that stands out from the rest. You can Google how to start a podcast and publish it. And then, yeah, who's going to listen? I mean, I have been podcasting for well over a year. And while there have been many milestones and success with this podcast that you are tuned into, the greatest part of it all is building the wonderful relationships and partnerships with some of the best guests and fellow podcasters. And most importantly, the listeners. They are the reason why we're here. Carlo Amaris, the CEO and founder of Idea to Launch, has put together a course that will help you take your podcast from idea to launch in just 30 days with her proven 5-phase formula that helped her reach over 100,000 downloads in less than a year without social media presence or any tech background. Your artwork, recording, editing, marketing, and so much more. Also, when you are part of the course, you become a part of a community of podcasters. I'm one of them. Use the link in our show description to enroll in the Launch Your Podcast in 30 Days 2.0. Let them know that Double Dose of Raw Talk sent you and get the Instagram 101 crash course for free. Enrollment is open. Welcome to Double Dose of Raw Talk Podcast, your weekly dose of many discussions and opinions, a show where we get comfortable being uncomfortable. And remember, no topic is off limits. Now let's talk about it. All right.
Okay.
So here we go. Welcome back, everyone, to another week and another episode on Double Dose of Raw Talk Podcast. I'm your host, Missy. Yo, I be singing.
You did that.
I did. I just want to give myself props for that one. Now ask me if I can sing in the bedroom. I can't. I can only sing in the shower, but never the bedroom. I can't sing. No. I can moan, but not sing.
You can sing like, okay. I mean, moan is, at this point, you just put some auto-tune on your voice. Moan is very appropriate. It's okay. Well, it's fine.
I may have to listen to some voice notes that I sent earlier this week to see if there's any nice little pitches in those sessions.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to let you know. I may have to go back. All right.
And then, it's fine.
Did I even finish the introduction? Okay, welcome back, everyone, to another week and another episode on Double Dose of Raw Talk Podcast. I feel like I can't hear this. This is already starting off so wrong. I am your host, Liz D, and today, if you heard that voice, that is one of my favorite voices. Ooh, you said, listen, this is gonna be a whole vibe. This is the one and only Court from the Wind Down Crew Pod. And are we gonna say what else at this point?
Yes. Well, at this point, I'm back. Hey listeners, it's Court. It's only one Court. KeepinitCourtt. If you know me, from Instagram. But yes, 1/5 of the Wind Down Crew podcast. And I think by the time this comes out, a new podcast is coming. Me and Rima, my co-host, who's been on this show with Daisy twice, I believe. It's called Wake Up Confidential. So we're going to be talking about music and telling our business and being drunk. Of course, KC, which is her alter ego, will be coming out. And we're going to just figure out how we're going to do this for the summertime while Wind Down Crew is on break. Trying to get that together because we're trying to rebrand Wind Down Crew Pod and things like that there. But RCC is coming out soon. So I think July 12th is the date.
Yeah.
Yep, that's the date.
Yeah, so that will be next week, guys. Next week, it will be launching. So, as always, I always give you guys all the information on the show notes. So, you guys are going to have to make sure to follow and to see, all the good stuff that's coming. And I'm excited. I'm so excited. Obviously, you guys have both been, you and Rima, on this platform, so I'm excited to have this dose from you guys, because I mean, I can't get enough of the Wind Down Crew, and it's always great to go back and listen to episodes. And I mean, you guys already know I always recommend all my listeners to do so. But this is gonna be a whole vibe, so I'm so excited for that. Absolutely.
You,
and I'm proud of y'all. I'm here for it. All right, so I don't know if you heard,
listen,
but in honor of your new podcast, but also in honor of my new little what is it called? It's like my new permanent icebreaker here. I have a new thing that I call the raw mess of the week. Okay. It's my new opener. Okay. And I just highlight a little something that is slightly relevant to what we're going to talk about today. Okay. So the raw mess of the week is some shit I saw, of course, on social media, but it's something that I kind of sort of maybe like, it stays with me a little bit because I've definitely spoken about it here on this show before. And you know, I've had close friends and family look at me like I'm fucking crazy. Like, bitch, what are you talking about? Like, why would you want that in your life? And I don't see nothing wrong with it, but I'm one that is very pro, you know, if I meet a man who wants to build and continue to build with me and he would like to stay at home, you know, maybe he has a business, maybe he's building it or whatever, I'll be okay with that because I'm not your stay at home type of person. Right.
Right.
I don't know if you saw the whole mess this week with the very controversial Wendy Williams and the beautiful Tabitha Brown. All right.
I did.
So Miss Tabitha, she's an influencer, but also she's been on the Chai.
A classy read.
It was a classy read. Okay, she's been on the Chai, and I'm a fan of the Chai. It is a TV show for those of you who've been living under a rock. And she came forward and said that she retired her husband, who has been for 15 years working for the law enforcement, right?
LAPD.
And she, of course, this woman is coming forth so proud of this. You know,
right.
I don't think she woke up one day and just said, "Hey, husband, this is what you're gonna do." You know, because I honestly, I don't think that's what happened. I didn't think that's what happened from jump. Wendy Williams had a lot to say. What else is new about this? And she came on a little strong with it. And listen, I wanted to say this: Wendy Williams is someone who has come forth about her very abusive relationship, her marriage. You know, the fact that I think that's her ex-husband now, did live off of her. Cool, calm, collective, got you. But that's not everybody's story. And she came for Tabitha and was talking mad shit to Miss Tabitha through her show. And Miss Tabitha, not only did she read Wendy for filth, but not filth. It was more so like in biblical
filth.
No, it was filth. Okay. She read.
Yeah, it was like, "In God We Trust." For sure. "In God We Trust." Amen.
But it was filth.
Hallelujah.
It was filth. First of all, she smiled the whole time when she responded to Wendy Williams. And it was the part where she told her, like, first of all, she didn't have to explain herself, but she did. She explained herself. She said that this was an agreement her husband had. Right. This was something along the lines of a promise that she kind of made to her husband. And essentially, she just told Wendy, like, I get it. Like, you don't know what it is to have a love like this. I get it. You don't know what it is to be loved like this. But basically stay in your lane because I'm staying in mine. Right? Do you have any thoughts about this before I add a little bit more to this? Like, any thoughts on what happened and what transpired?
So first I wanted to say, Miss Tabitha Brown, I aspire to be that level of classy one day. I'm not there yet, but I aspire to be. She didn't curse. She didn't elevate her tone. And she did not compromise her brand. And I appreciate that. She also came from a place of love, but also shade. And I love a good read. I love a good read. It's wonderful. But see, as Tabitha said, Wendy, you're in a lot of pain my goodness, my God. Um, let's make sure you get the help that you need, and I pray that you find a love like this, because obviously you don't know what that's like, and I feel like Wendy's always going to give her opinion. That's what Wendy's been doing for however long she's been in, like, of in the spotlight, whether it's on radio or on TV. So she's just giving her take on it. But sometimes her take is a little bit, especially now with her, going through the stuff with her ex-husband, a little bit salty. Like, out of all the flavors you could be, you want to be salty. You could be sweet. You could say, "Oh, that's dope. Congratulations," and not be a hater. So yeah, I just feel like she was coming from a place of hurt because of what she's experienced, and of course, when you are on your platform, like we have podcasts, so we talk about how we talk. You always try to give your point of view, and not try to come off as like a hating ass person. But that was just pretty much like I think Wendy pretty much said, I don't see this lasting for, like, I guess within a year. It's gonna be a little rocky. And it's like, well, how do you know their foundation? How do you know, like, you don't know what they have, you don't know what they have going on. Just because you had that in your life, don't speak that onto them, and, like, in a sense, kind of curse them, because words are powerful and you got to watch your tongue. And not saying that they're not friends, so her words may not penetrate their relationship. But if people believe that, and you have a big platform, you gotta be responsible with what you say and how you say it. It would have been better if she just said the story and kind of kept, if it was me, not saying, "Oh, I think this is going to happen," because sometimes you can say, your opinion and kind of give it from your point of view without being, like, sour about it and being like pretty much being an asshole, technically. Because Tabitha doesn't bother anybody. I'm sorry, Miss Tabitha. Respect. Doesn't bother anybody. She's so sweet, and I just feel like it's Wendy's job to do what she does. She's been doing it for years, so it's nothing new. But it just wasn't. It just didn't really come off the way she thought it would, because the tabacados or avocados came for her comments. It's given very much Beyonce Beehive. And I appreciate that. Yeah.
I think that Wendy sometimes reaches a little bit too much. I get you having to, give your commentary. I get, you wanting to be, shady, salty.
Right.
Messy. It was definitely messy. Raw mess of the week. Definitely messy. I get that. But I feel like at some point, ma'am, and listen, it's not to come for her age, but at some point I just need you to understand that some things are just too messy for your age, and you don't need to comment on them. You know what I mean? This is a 15-year career. This is a marriage of however long they've been together. And if you're going to comment at someone who is, a talk show host or a journalist or however which way you categorize yourself, what I would have liked for Wendy to also acknowledge was that Tabitha also had just purchased a whole truck brand new for her father and gifted it to her dad.
Right.
Okay. And what that tells me Miss Tabitha, I'm sorry. What that tells me about her is that she is someone who has made it to a point where she wants to give to her family. That she is in a good place to do so. And guess the fuck what? If I was Miss Tabitha and I was in her place, I would be doing the same fucking thing. The same thing. No questions asked. Like, why wouldn't you want to have that peacefulness without having to worry about shit? If and the way Miss Tabitha speaks, in God we trust, like Court just said it, clearly she believes that God and Jesus have brought her all these blessings, right? She believes that wholeheartedly. And so if you are receiving these blessings, wouldn't you so naturally want to give this back to your family, to your loved ones? And I feel like that's where Wendy just takes it a little too far. Just too, like, shut up. Miss Tabitha, it was just like, just shut up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Miss Tabitha, I think she needs to, like, sell a course on how to so classy, so effortlessly. Oh
Listen,
my God. Like the
very
way she
good.
did that, it
Did
was just like
did not even like she didn't even cuss. She didn't wrinkle her forehead or pucker her mouth, like
her
none of
smile.
that. It was like
Her
good morning.
smile.
I'm like, what? See,
She felt so much joy in her heart. I felt the joy with her when I watched the whole video. Like I was
right.
smiling like this. I was like, oh my God, like teach me how to do this so that I could
Listen,
read people in such way as well. She is my
yeah,
hero. She is my new hero. But this was definitely gonna be the raw mess of the week. Because just Wendy just
yeah.
don't fucking learn. When you know, I'm gonna take it all the way back to reading Angie Martinez's book, Angie Marr. Okay, the voice of the radio in New
Mm-hmm.
York. Angie Marr knocked her out
Hey,
once. Okay, and there's a reason why. She explains it in her book. There's a reason why, okay? And I'm not saying she's got her ass whooped, but I'm just saying, like, I need her to stop. Like, I need her to, okay, she might need to get her ass whooped. Again,
again,
she might need to.
again,
I wasn't trying to say that.
again.
I
Something.
wasn't trying to choose violence
I
on
mean,
this
it's
week's
okay.
episode.
Oh, I didn't get the memo. That wasn't outline.
It wasn't on the outline. You're right. It was not on the outline. Y'all know I be doing agendas here and outlines. It's certainly, there is nowhere on there where I said, let's not choose violence. He's right. All right. So Court is keeping me on check.
At all. She
I
didn't say
did
that.
not. All right. But
Yep.
since, Court is keeping it
Yes.
all the way raw, we're going to go right into the first segment, as raw as it gets. And I subtitled it, If It's on Paper, It Stands. Now, there's a reason why I wanted to talk about these things. The agreements Miss
Okay.
Tabitha had with her husband and,
Okay.
some other things.
Mm-hmm.
Whether this is in marriages, relationships,
Okay.
professionalism. When we think of,
Mm-hmm.
verbal agreements, and then you think of actual agreements, contracts, policies, offer
Mm-hmm.
letters of whatever kind they may
Right.
be. Okay. And let me tell you why I say whatever kind they may be. Some of y'all motherfuckers may have seen 50 Shades of Grey.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember the fucking contract he gave her to sign? That was like 50 fucking
Mm-hmm.
pages. Okay.
Yeah.
If it's on paper, it stands. Okay.
Right.
But I'm having a little bit of a battle here. I'm having a little bit of a battle. So let me explain.
Okay.
I'm gonna explain.
Okay.
Okay. And the question I posed on the agenda was, is that the end all and be all? The reason why I say that is because times change. People change. Don't we always say
Okay.
that? Don't we always say that? In relationships, people always change.
Yep.
So if with the movement and with the moment of people changing, just human beings, then shouldn't these contracts change too? Shouldn't these policies change too? Or shouldn't these offer letters change too? What are your thoughts on that?
Let me say this. How can I preference this? So, I'm going to say nest. It's a hybrid word between no and yes, and it depends on the
Say it again.
circumstance. It's nest. So it's part of the Wind Down Cruise vocabulary. We say nest. It's a hybrid between no and yes. It's like maybe, but it's like I want to say no, but I want to say yes. So I would say it's all circumstantial.
Okay.
So like you mentioned, people do change. In a relationship, people change, people grow. So if anything's on paper, we may be able to renegotiate something
Mm-hmm.
in reference to
Mm-hmm.
that. So things should change in that
Mm-hmm.
regard. With offer letters or certain agreements that you may have, whether it's employment or so, I feel as though the only way that should change is if you're doing something outside of your job description or doing more work than you
Mm-hmm.
were hired to do. Then we can definitely change it because a lot of jobs, mine's included,
Okay.
raggedy as fuck. They hire you for one thing and you do that job so well. They're like, oh my God, let's pile this on. Oh my God, he's great. And I'm like, I didn't when I signed this, it didn't say nowhere near in the breakdown of the job description I was doing this. And I am always a table shaker. And what I mean is on Love and Hip Hop, K Michelle says a while ago, she's shaking the table. That's me. If I can shake it, it's going to be shook. And I'm always in trouble for doing that, which is probably why I want to leave my job now. But I just feel like it's with certain employers, they take their employees for granted. And certain things should be reviewed based on what you actually do, and if you're an asset to the company. That's how I feel. So if you change as an employee, meaning you do more, you earn more, you are making the company more than you did when you first started, because of course knowledge is power, so you're learning the job, you know what you're doing, then okay, of course. But if you're not doing shit and you're a regular ass employee, you're just coming in and do your job and go home, you don't deserve the same merit everybody else is getting. You get what I'm saying? Like,
right.
You don't get a trophy for just showing up. Like, that doesn't work.
Right.
So Ness. So the bottom line is Ness. So yes and no. And audience, feel free to use it in your, daily vocabulary. Ness. It's NES. It's a hybrid between no and yes. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Hallelujah. Okay, so let me just admit to something. The reason why I turned so red when you said Ness, was because I was also part of my vocabulary for 4.5 years, but I used to
oh wow.
I used to kind of like, sing it.
Oh, so you want to sing it for me right now?
I don't like to incriminate. I'm turning red. You see how red I'm turning? I don't like to incriminate, but at this point, I was going to say his name was Nesta. And so.
Oh, okay. Wow. It's all making sense.
It's
wow.
All making sense. He was like a hybrid between yes and no. I mean, sometimes it felt like that. It did. But there was definitely a lot of necessary singing. There was.
Okay, it's kind of giving very much moaning and not singing, but I'm gonna let you live.
Very much. Shout out to him. I don't know where he's at. I kind of reunited with him in when I went to Miami, but I don't know where he's at. So I hope he's well.
Oh, it's giving.
I never incriminate on this show, but he was actually a good one, so we're gonna put his name out there. He was a real good one. Oh, I hope he's well. Amen. All right. So
shout out
to him. So I'm glad you actually highlighted that piece, especially with, the workplace contracts, because this is my thing, right? And I don't want to focus too much on the act itself and what happened, but it has something to do with it. Sha'Carri, I was very, very, very perplexed and mixed with emotions about what happened with her. So this is she almost made it to the Olympics, right? How old is she? Is she 19, 20? How old is she? I forgot.
Maybe 20.
Like she's probably around 20. Let me look. I don't know why this just fell off my mind. But the point is she had a chance to make it to the Olympics. And unfortunately, she smoked. I mean, I hate to say unfortunately. I don't want to say unfortunately. She got caught up.
She's 21.
And 21. She got caught up in the moment, and she smoked some weed. And of course, they test you as an athlete. They test you in the Olympics. This is part of these rules, right? No one can really touch these rules or change them. And I get it. And she tested positive for it. And so now the time of her suspension, it does put her in a space where it's affecting her Olympian career. Am I saying that word correctly? Olympian career? If it's not a word, don't come for me. But the point to
words are hard. Okay.
But the point to why I'm bringing this up is because while I understand that throughout the years, right, there have been previous cases in which, similarly to marijuana or to other substances, there haven't been exceptions made. I get it 100%. And I understand the rules are the rules and policies are policies. I do feel that because times have changed, right? And I know what's on paper. If it's on paper, it stands.
It stands.
That's why I opened it up like this. But times have changed. This is why I'm a little bit troubled with this. There are more states now making it legal for recreational use, right? Where she did use it, it was in a state that was legal, right?
Right.
I guess for me, because I don't know this young woman from a hole in the wall, I think she's amazing, right? But I do feel like with times having been changed and given her circumstances, and it's not giving her special treatment, I don't know if we're going to give her a pass, or perhaps maybe to a certain level, the higher ups of whomever establishes these policies, what's on paper, should probably revisit what is exactly the substance abuse and are we frowning upon all substances?
Right.
Because I do feel like, okay, so this is it, right? It's not about making an example out of her. If the rules are the rules and she's just not going to be able to pursue her Olympian career as of yet, then my
Right.
question is, if times are changing, are certain type of agencies, international agencies or what have you, under these athletic organizations, shouldn't they also be coming along with the times and changing as
Mm-hmm.
well? And again, it's not about
Right.
special treatment. I'm just really, really troubled with the fact that today it was Shakari and tomorrow it might be in a moment for another young athlete who might have the same chance. And because they might be in a situation like
Right.
in hers, her mother had passed away, that they go ahead and they
Yeah.
use the substance of marijuana. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm just a little bit troubled with this thing.
Right.
And I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if, while times are changing so locally, if all other agencies are a little bit more realistic to the fact that maybe there might be a need for a little bit of change. Not special treatment,
Right.
not special exceptions. I just mean a wholesome change. That's where I wanted to get a little bit raw with
Right.
this. To the point that you said about workplace. I'm not gonna incriminate, but
It's okay.
I'm gonna put this out there. And if she's listening, she knows I'm in support of her. Yes, cheers. I'm gonna
Okay.
cheer for that one too. Cheers. She knows I'm
Mm-hmm.
in support of her. It's like when you have a job description that says somebody requires a bachelor's degree to do this job. And after I've done the job with a master's degree and I realized that neither the bachelor's nor the master's has impacted at all whatsoever my abilities to do this motherfucking job, why can we not allow
It
someone
never does.
ever? Why can we not allow someone who has all the skills to do this job that does not have the bachelor's or the master's? Why can we not allow that person to have that same opportunity to get that same salary as I am when that person is doing the same exact job I'm doing and they're learning of it?
Right.
But because they don't have a
Right.
certain piece of paper, and let me say this, I'm not downplaying that piece of paper. I busted my ass to get both pieces of paper, so I'm not downplaying those pieces of papers. But
Amen.
what I'm saying
Right.
is, someone doesn't necessarily have to have those pieces of papers to be excellent at the same job I'm doing. So why, as this
Right.
person is changing with the times, as the job description has
Right.
surely changed, why can't the opportunity also change with it? It's something that I've actually witnessed. And I didn't want to like turn a blind eye to it because I feel like we see this a lot. Whether you are an athlete aspiring to be an Olympian, whether you are Miss Tabitha Brown having an agreement with your husband, right? Or whether you are a regular schmegular girl who works in New York City. We are in times that, yes, if it's on paper, it stands. But I am just so over the black and whiteness of a contract. I know what
Right.
a contract upholds. I get it. I get it. If it's on
Mm-hmm.
contract, you know what you are signing and agreeing to. But I also
Right.
do feel like the same way there's opportunities for people to revisit a contract to know what they're going to get out of it, is the same way I feel like we
Right.
also have to be open to revisiting that as the times are changing and as people are changing. I don't know if we are in a place right now where we are that open-minded to that. Listen, this is why I'm a one woman show too, because no, it is because I wouldn't even know where to begin with a contract, to be honest.
Right.
I really don't. As much as
Yeah.
we got the guidance for it, I don't know if I would know where to begin with it. And I think it takes a lot of work to be able to do that part. It really does. No, it really, really does. And I admire
It's a
I
lot.
admire it. I do. But I just also feel like I don't know if it's the end all be all, is what I'm saying.
Right.
Industries, different people, different
Mm-hmm.
skills, fame. Sometimes when fame is involved, it's a whole other motherfucking ball game.
Whole nother
A whole
beast
other
with that.
beast. A whole other beast with it.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to shine light on this. The piece of signing an agreement, the piece of signatures. Oftentimes we see that people don't read the fine print. oftentimes we don't understand these clauses that are involved in a lot of these contracts or a lot of these agreements that we're signing to. And that's also part of the reason why I feel like, shouldn't we also go along with the times when it comes to the changes in these type of documents or these changes in these type of business deals? Because in a nutshell, there are business deals. You know what I'm saying? The policies, the rules, everything. I left a job recently. I don't want to get listen, I'm not going to incriminate, but I'm going to say
it's okay. Don't
say it. Last week's episode was a solo episode, and I absolutely explained a little bit as to my reason to why I left. But one of the things I definitely want to highlight here on this episode, to why I'm so passionate about certain changes in rules and policies and requirements and descriptions. I did leave a job, and one of the reasons why I did leave is because, let me confess this part. One of the things I was told was that I wasn't ready for the next step. But it was more than that. It wasn't just not being ready for the next step. It was basically like being blocked of the next blessings. It was basically being told that I wasn't good enough. It wasn't just you're not ready. It was being told I wasn't good enough because I was missing something of this imaginary requirement, of this imaginary rule or policy or what have you. And it came to a point where the opportunity was even offered to people who did not have the experience I did and who were not there as long as I had been, right? And it's not to throw shade to those people because I know their capabilities and I know their skills. But I also feel like at some point I did feel like, isn't there like this unwritten rule that like, oh, you're the senior person who's been here this long, you've been training everyone, shouldn't you be the next one in line for it? Right? Like,
I've been there.
Right? I felt that way. I felt that way. I did. I did. I'm gonna be honest.
I've been there.
Yes.
I've been there.
And it's like, this is where I go by, oh, if it's on paper, it stands. Because at that point, unwritten or written, at that point, it didn't matter whether it was on paper or not. They're going to manipulate the situation however which way they want to. They're going to manipulate it to whomever they like. And listen.
Whoever is not causing trouble or shaking the damn table.
Right. Because I know I shook the table a few times.
I'm sure you did.
All right, not a few times. It was more than a few times.
Probably like 10.
I'm shaking the damn table.
You were there for a while.
I was there for a while. I was moving. I wasn't just shaking tables. I was changing up the whole furniture. Like I was remodeling. I definitely was. But the thing is, it wasn't
not remodeling. Not home improvement. What you Tim Allen?
I was Tim Allen. Okay, that's cute. Tim. I was Tim Allen. Yes, ma'am. Listen, it was a whole shop.
I can't. I know that's right.
This is why I didn't get the promotion. This is why. They was like this girl from the Bronx is coming up in here trying to remodel this whole damn thing. She ain't getting it.
Okay, stop.
Oh my God.
Focus.
Oh, that was great. I was definitely shaking the table. I'm not gonna act like I never.
Yes.
Yo, my own son called me out on this shit 2 episodes ago. He was like you was going to work yelling at people.
Did.
I really wasn't. I really wasn't yelling at people. Right, but whatever. The thing is though, I just feel like I don't know. I just feel like so many people get so many passes in certain circumstances. And I think that when it comes to the picking and choosing of the battles, right? It's like, who's worth it? Who's worth that fight? Who's worth that exception? Who's worth that, the changing of the rule, the changing of the whole momentum? It just really gets under my skin sometimes. I was in a moment where I realized that it just didn't matter what I had signed up for and what had evolved from that. It just did not matter at all. Hey, I hope you're enjoying the show. We're on a quick break right now just to remind you to visit our www.doubledoserawtalk.store and get your podcast merch and rep with your favorite host, Miss D. And of course, my ebook is still available, My Journal to Self-Love. You know, it's my experience and a dose on how to build and rebuild your confidence and be confident. So go support the show. I got the fireworks going on too. That's why I closed the door.
I'm like, what is happening? It scared me. I'm like, what? Like, what is going on? It's not late, but it's.
But
it's
you know
late.
the rule, though, right? If you hear the pop, pop, pop 4 times.
Oh yeah, I already know, baby.
So, because I saw your face go up, and I'm like, I was waiting.
Yeah, because wait a minute, because at first I was trying, I was waiting for the 4th pop. I was like, wait, like, do I need to get down? Like, what's about to happen?
I saw your face. You were like,
I'm like, hold on now. Wait a minute. No. Whew. Got a little nervous, started to sweat. Like, oh, what's going on? What's happening? Now, listen, we can fight. I don't want to get shot now. Okay?
He was about to stop, drop, and roll.
Yeah, like, woo.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, I need.
You know what? On that note, I needed some more tequila because I can't.
Oh my god, that is hilarious. Anyway, those are my sentiments about this whole contract shit. These policies. I get it, people. I get it. Sha'Carri did something wrong. I get it. She did something that was against the rules. Let me not say wrong. She did something that was against the rules. But I don't know if I want to constitute that as necessarily something that she's done wrong. And I don't know if I'm okay with this whole thing. If it's on paper, if it's black and white,
right,
or blue and white, depending on what ink color you want to use. I don't know if I want to stand on that any further, like I have for a very, very long time with a lot of different things. Like my mentality of, am I supposed to automatically be the manager because I've been here that long? Even though I do feel that I earned that, I don't know if I want to make it the basis of I've been here that long. If that makes any sense. I hope it does.
I understand.
I hope it does. I hope it does.
It makes sense to me.
Okay. And just on that note, let's just make it very clear. If there are any leaders listening to this episode, please do whatever you can to not belittle your staff or your team members. Like, honestly, like, one of the things I want to say this, and we'll lead right into the next segment. Sha'Carri, did you at all hear her coaches coming to the front line to belittle her? Did you at all hear her teammates coming to the front line to belittle her, to talk negatively about her, to talk down to her for her mistake? Like, nobody did that. Nobody needed to do that. You know what I mean? And I'm not an Olympian. I'm not Sha'Carri, right? Who the fuck am I? But I just feel like everyone is just always so quick to point out all the negative in you or of you. Everyone is always so quick to that, instead of just showing genuine support for a simple error. And I'm not talking about those people who are really conniving and shit and be doing foul shit or fraud shit. That's not what the fuck I'm talking about. I mean, just a simple error.
Right.
So for me, it just meant a lot to me that I did not see all this hate spewing over her for her mistake, for her error. That goes a long way for me. I don't think contract should be the end all be all, but I wanted to notate that. I want to take this up a little notch with papers and contracts.
I like where this is going.
Because you know exactly where it's going, because I put it on the agenda. Okay. This I did put on the agenda. We're still choosing violence here.
Sure did.
Okay.
For sure.
We're going to go into the double or nothing. And the subtitle is, speaking of keeping it raw, there's this contract that lives in this world. I don't know if it's the end all be all, but it's called the prenup.
We want a prenup.
Okay. Yeah. All right. And I've talked about this before. I have. I'm a woman who believes in having a partnership. I'm a woman who, doesn't just want a relationship. Like I said before, I would love somebody, a partner who I'm going to build with, etc. Right? But how do we really feel about prenups? Like, no. Let's really talk about this shit, because this might just be the whole exception to the whole contracts, policies, offer letters, and changes, right? How do we really feel
Right.
about prenups? Can we discuss this a little bit?
Let's
All
discuss
right.
it. Um, well, when I was a lot younger than I am now, I know I look young, but
You do.
no, I'm not. I'm not. I didn't see the need for it. I thought, oh, you're in love. What's the problem? Love is love. Nah, nah, nah. But as life hit me in the face as I got older, and I said, this is why this is in place.
Mm-hmm.
I've watched divorces go really left. And I'm like, oh, well, if this was in place, it wouldn't have been all of this back and forth. Because again, if it's on paper, it is what it is.
It stands, right.
Right. But now that I'm at, this big age of 31, I'm like, yeah, if I do get married, we definitely want one of those things called a prenup, because I don't want to go through all of the confusion and all that stuff that you have to go through. It's a divorce is a long ass process. And it's already like a death. Like, I've watched people who I'm close to like go through it, and they like during the process they were like a shell of themselves. I'm like, what? Even though I've never experienced that, I don't want to feel like I have nothing left. But if we had this agreement that's like, hey, we have these clauses, we have these things in place, it's kind of like extra protection just in case. So I look at it like a fire extinguisher. You don't want to wish your house burns down, but if it does catch on fire, you want to have that protection to make sure that you can save your shit. Because insurance is cute, but you want to buy new shit when your shit's all burnt the fuck up. You want to use your fire extinguisher. Like, in case of emergency, break this. We know what's going on, and then we'll keep pushing. But without that, it becomes a mess. And as Smokey the Bear said, only you can prevent forest fires, baby. And I don't want that for my life, so I want to contain it.
Smokey the Bear.
Yeah, Smokey the Bear. I don't have time for that.
From Tim Allen to Smokey the Bear, y'all.
Listen, references.
Fun fact: they both work with woods.
Period. Okay. It's just tequila, I promise. It's tequila.
It is. I'm having this only one right now. You don't even want to know. There might be a little bit of whiskey in there. All right.
Yeah, it's tequila. Yeah.
All right. I mean, so here's my thoughts on the prenups. I agree with you 1000%. Let me be a little bit transparent here. My audience knows that I am divorced from my son's father. What my audience doesn't know is that I've recently divorced my second husband. Yeah, so
congrats, I guess.
So the first time it happened, the first time it happened, it was for love.
Okay.
And then, we ended in divorce. The second time it happened, I listened to my mama this time. It was not for love. It was for some form of interest. It also didn't go that far. So we ended up in a divorce. But this was a far more amicable divorce.
Okay.
What was on paper stood. We knew exactly what we had agreed on and how we were going to be divorced. So everything was great, right? Right. And so this was far more amicable than the other one, right? The other one, there was definitely a fight for custody and, what we were going to do back then, where Lord Jesus, thank you for helping us get to where we are today. But nevertheless, when I think about this shit today, right? And I just said, we should go with the times, change it up a bit. The times changing. Let's change the rules and policies. When it comes to prenups, y'all, I need everybody to be smart. I need everyone to know exactly who you're marrying, who you are, what you have to offer, what the other person has to offer. And at the end of the fucking day, I'm not saying your relationship is a business, but when you think of wanting to build an empire and you think of wanting a partner, then you do have to think of, well, what if we build a business? How is this shit going to look? my table was shook with the whole prenup thing because I was watching this TV show called Cartel Crew. I don't know if you know about it.
Ooh.
It's on VH1.
It sounds spicy.
It is very spicy. So one of the main characters is
I liked it.
Is you know, first of all, if y'all don't know who Griselda Blanco is, do y'all know do you know who Griselda? Okay, all right. So her son is on this show. Okay, he has started off from a clean slate. Yes, it's definitely about the life, right? And he is one of the characters, and he's gonna get married to his ride or die. She's been there for him. She's done everything with him, you know. But his business has been blooming. She has her own business, of course. He has helped her build her business. I wouldn't say she helped him on paper build his business. See why on paper it stands? See where I'm going with this?
I guess you.
But she's been his ride or die. So she has helped him build his business. And they're going to get married. And he tells her, well, I'm going to need you to sign a prenup. And sis was like, fuck you.
Oh, wow.
And your prenup. And girl took their daughter and like went to stay at a friend's house. The shit went left for like 2 episodes, right?
Wow.
It did. And the thing is, I don't think she wasn't understanding where he was coming from. I'm making an excuse for him. Quite frankly, I feel she should have brought up the whole purpose of the prenup. I understand you love this man. I understand you've been his ride or die. I understand you do not see anything beyond this man. But you have a business. And even if he's co-partner with you, even more so, you should have a prenup because he is a partner with you in your business. So if someday you and him don't make it and get a fucking divorce, what happens to your business that you share with him? That's rule number 1. Rule number 2. Yes, he has a business. And as his ride or die, why not take that moment to negotiate what you believe you are entitled to, that you deserve, being his ride or die and his partner? She got so pissed when he said that their relationship was a business. She got pissed. She was crying. She was drunk. She was throwing things. Wow. It was bad. And so that was the point that I put on the little overview of the outline, right?
Right.
I said, you know, once upon a time, I believed in love and who needs a prenup. I believed in what's yours is mine, what's mine is yours. But guess what comes with that, baby? It comes the bullshit, the debts. Like that's what comes with it too. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. That also comes with it. The whole what's mine is your whatever, what have you. Like I don't know if like we're living realistic to where to draw the line with pieces of paper, with contracts. Like I said before, with these policies, offer letters, whatever it is you're signing into, going into any type of a relationship, how that may or may not need to change, right? Down the line.
Right.
Like, quite frankly, I don't know if this is possible, but after watching that show and after watching those episodes, I said to myself, you know, I mean, I don't have $1 million business here, but I'm building something, right? I'm building something, and I have my career, right? In the state of New York, and I think it's like this in most states, if I make more money than my spouse, and he and I are married long enough, and we get a divorce, fuck the fact if I got kids with him, I need to pay his ass alimony. Like, this is all shit we need to write in prenups. We need to be able to, and I hope I should start doing my research before I go and fall in love again. But I need to. But you know, I'm here building a platform. I'm building a little business here. I'm writing my little ebooks. I'm pursuing to write my book, right? Like, I need to be able to know how to protect everything that I've worked for on my own. On my own, because I don't have a partner here helping me get there. And I cannot believe to myself, nah, he loves me. Nah, I love him. And let that be the end all be all. Nope. Like, am I correct here? Like, am I twisted?
You are correct, because no, you're definitely correct, because it can go left really quick. As Tina, I'm referencing as Tina Turner once said, "What's love got to do with it, baby?" Okay, because I know when I'm pissed off, I don't give a damn about you loving me. I want to fight you. I want you to like get hit by a bus. Like, I'm mad. I don't want you to be hurt. If I was driving a bus, then I might lightly tap you. I don't want you to get ran over by the bus, but I want you to like feel how I feel, like hurt. It's raggedy. I'm working on it, but um, I just feel like it needs to be a conversation. How he probably like gave it to her or told her like, "Hey, it's a business." I want to use those words, because a lot of the things that we go through when whether it's friendships, relationships, or your job, it's about the communication and the tone. And I feel like if you come to somebody with the right tone and the proper, like, not the way that you want to hear the message, but how they're going to receive it. Because I know sometimes, and they're listening, shout out to you, I have a very matter of fact way of speaking, especially when I'm pissed off. I think I mentioned this before on a platform. I'm not sure if it was your show or somebody else's show that we know. But we had a no fuck you rule where I couldn't say fuck you, like, because I'm good at saying, oh fuck you, I'm done. I'm good at that. But we had a rule where we cannot say that. If you say fuck you, that means we're like you're a person on the street, like you're a stranger. So I can never say those words. If I said that, it was a done deal. So
really,
I'm, yeah.
Was this on paper?
It wasn't on paper, but it was like, this is how you're going to treat me. This is how I respond. And a lot of times what happens is people, myself included, we're just kind of going along the journey of relationships. And there's no, just like adulthood, there's no book on this shit. Nobody's there saying this is how you're supposed to do it. And because everybody's thing is different. Like, what works for you may not work for me, and vice versa. Right. But I believe that with the conversation, anything is possible. Because as long as you're giving me the option to opt into something and not, if somebody loves you, they should have your best interest at heart. That's how I feel. And when you're in that dark space, they may not mean what the fuck they say at the moment, but sometimes we're all a little bit nasty when we're pissed. But I don't. It doesn't negate my love for you. I'm just pissed off in that moment. But me saying whatever I said in the moment, like once it's out there, like if somebody told me it's a business, I would be pissed off. I'm not even gonna pump fake and lie. Like I'm gonna be like, what do you mean? Like, what the fuck? Are you signing my checks? Like what's happening? Like, am I your employee? Okay. Like, what do you mean? But if you're saying to me like this, I look at it like it's a business. Okay, then explain it to me. But if you're hearing it like it's a job, like, or it's a chore to be with me, what do you? No, he didn't say that, but that could have been her rationale when thinking like, fuck you mean it's a business? Like, I'm your fucking employee. Like, I helped you, even though I'm on paper. I'm the reason why, because it takes a lot more than just showing up to be an entrepreneur. You need support, and if she was there doing that job of a support system or a sounding board. Not saying she's entitled, but you can always, I feel like a lot of times we don't advocate for ourselves in the best ways. Like if I feel like I deserve something, I want to advocate for myself and I'm going to tell you the reasons why I deserve it because I'm the shit. Not saying those words, but if I want something, like I'm very persistent. I'm going to get it. You're going to tell me no, but I'm going to turn it into a yes because I'm just that fucking awesome. You're going to be like, we need him. And I feel like I haven't watched the show, but I feel like if he would have said it in a way that maybe she wanted to hear it, she wouldn't have been upset. Okay. Because think about it, D. If you're with somebody, right, and y'all are rocking and whatever, and they're like, "Oh, this is a business," you're gonna be looking like the fuck. Like if there's no context behind that, you're gonna be looking like, well, what? Do I get paid to fuck you? Like what happens? Like how does that look?
Well, hold up a second. Hold on. Wait. No. Hold on a second. Hold on. Remember,
I'm just saying
the unwritten contracts and rules, right? If I am laying up with you, like you may not have to, but where's my money at? Like where's my gifts? Where's my bags? Where's my shoes? Where's like you know what I mean? Like let's just keep it all the way raw here, okay? But I feel what you're saying. I feel what you're saying. So to be fair, just to give context to this episode, it was like in 2 episodes. He did come in and explain it to her why it is that he came so strong with that. And it in his mind, it had to do with everything his mother lost before she was, she was no longer here on this earth.
Yeah,
gotta watch
I got
what I say, because that's cartel
Yeah.
crew. Like, I don't want to
Yeah,
say.
I'm like,
I don't want to. We gotta watch it. Okay, right. But you know, he explained himself, and I understood in his explanation. He said it as, I don't want to lose everything how my mom just lost just because she didn't do things the right way.
Right.
I want to make sure I do things the right way. But to him, it was more like, I never want you to leave me.
Right.
I want it to be forever me and you, but this needs to be put in place, and
Right.
I guess in the way he explained him, I guess, right? I guess. I guess I could see it. And she definitely was receptive to the explanation. She understood where he was coming from. And then eventually I do believe she signed it. I haven't seen that episode yet because it's tonight, so I have to watch it. But but I guess it puts into perspective a lot. I'm someone who preaches a lot from a professional standpoint. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. And I've definitely have to learn that throughout my years, throughout my personal growth and my development, with all sorts of different contracts in place and policies and rules, right? And when to be on stage, when to be off stage, right?
Right.
But when you think about a personal relationship, when you said no, fuck you, whatever. Listen, I'm one that I could go all the way there real quick, but it's not always the right thing to do, right? That's not the right way. God help my third husband first, and hopefully he's my final husband, but God help him. Now, my thing is though, I just feel like in the world we live in today, entrepreneurship being something that a lot of people are pursuing, knowing how quick after this pandemic things could just be lost or people could be lost. I feel like there are certain contracts that should be signed. And there's certain agreements that should be made and discussed beforehand before you enter anything with anyone. And I think that anyone is not that anyone is irreplaceable, or that no one is ever going to turn their back on you. You know what I mean? One of the things she said was, oh, but you saying this, you're kind of anticipating that we're going to get a divorce. Sis, a divorce could fucking happen, whether it's in a year, 2, 5, 10, 20. It could fucking happen. It's just possible. Anything is possible in this world. So that's definitely something that it definitely stayed with me with this whole prenup conversation. And it made me wonder, for me, like, I perhaps might need to find out a hybrid as to why I'm gonna go into a third marriage if I do. It's not love, or is it love, or is this time love and business? Like, what am I doing? I don't even know.
It could be both.
It could be both. But I definitely need to enter knowing that there has to be a prenup signed. Listen, I got an LLC that already gives me the right to have a prenup. I think. Period. All right. I mean, if I'm gonna keep it real, one last thought.
Period. You didn't lie. You didn't lie.
I'm talking so much shit right now, Court. It's not even funny. I'm gonna make sure my next husband don't listen to this episode. I swear. Okay. So, when it comes to the double or nothing piece, right? The last part of this. Do you think that there are still certain expectations attached to gender when it comes to the concept of whether there should be a prenup or not?
It's kind of hard to say.
It is hard. It is hard to say. It is. But I'm wondering, what's your thoughts on that?
I would say yeah.
Okay.
Because a lot of the things that we hold, whether gay, straight, bi, orange, purple, white, black, whatever, they come from this, I guess the day and age where we didn't have this type of access, where there weren't many options for employment or options for, how to prepare for a family or, going to college. A lot of people didn't have those options or those alternatives to look to. So when people think about the prenup, it's a very outdated view of it. And that's why it causes this, how can we say, friction in reference to a prenup. So I think that it definitely does play a part in it, because like in certain places or so, or certain examples. If a man does it, or if a man does it, and he's pretty much saying this is a prenup or so, automatically, like in a, like, you know, the public's mind, or somebody who's like outside looking in mind, like, oh well, she's gonna be not okay with that. But if it was reverse, like an example you use, like if she was the, you know, she has a business too, but if she was saying, hey, I want a prenup, it's expected that he's gonna be like, all right, cool. But that's not always the case. So I feel like with almost everything that we deal with, even with gay relationships, which I'm sad to say, but we do, like, some of us, most of the community does, like, kind of go into this gender norms or these gender rules of how things are supposed to look, where it's like, okay, well, I am this, so you have to do this. And it's like, buddy, relax. We're not doing that over here.
Got it.
We can both do this, and it doesn't take away, like, from you being whatever your vision of yourself is. And I feel like with the prenup conversation or so, it's more so like a bruised ego talking when it's being presented to you, because we always try to defend our ego, and that's like this identity in our head of how we view ourselves. So it's like, how can you send me or punk me? Like, I ain't no bitch. Like, what you mean? Prenup? Like, I was here working with you too. Like, I was, you know. But it's like, no, he's trying to protect you, so that in the event that this does go south, we already know where we're headed.
Right.
We already know where we're going. We already know what we're going to be looking forward to. So there's no surprises.
Right.
I'm not really a fan of surprise bills or surprise anything. Surprise parties and surprise gifts, bring them to me. But surprise bullshit, nope. Don't want none of that. Sorry. Count me out. But if you can let me know, okay, this is what we're gonna be doing, I can rock with it. But surprise bills and surprise raggedy shit, now I'm gonna fight you, because I don't like being surprised. As you clearly saw with the fireworks, I thought it was gunshots. I was surprised.
He was like,
to make sure I was. I don't like that. Ooh, no, ma'am. I gotta start to sweat. I'm like, ooh, no.
Yeah. This is the title of the episode. No surprise bullshit.
Period. I don't want that. I don't want none of that. Okay, no surprise bullshit. I'm not fucking with none of the surprises. Now, surprise gifts and surprise money, a surprise gift card, a surprise trip, hit me up. But
yes,
a surprise bill, no ma'am. A surprise bullshit,
I feel you.
Can't do it.
No, I do. That's actually why I wanted to highlight this part of the conversation and be that the last question of this portion of the show, because I do think it's the prenup concept, although it's something that a lot of more people are putting into play now. It is something that comes from a very long time ago. It is. And when we think about it, there's such a narrow mentality from where it comes from, you know? And it doesn't necessarily have to be that way. Again, that's why I say, like, I'm going to need everybody, regardless of what your financial status is, of what your identity is, of what your preference is. I need everybody to have that mindset. There is a way to be able to look at a partnership and say, all right, we're building something together, you know, but this is how I want us to conduct ourselves when it comes to this part of it, you know, because there's I swear, when I tell you I've looked high and low for this shit in my junior and senior year of college. I took this course with, you know, one of my joints, and it was a women in health class. And one of the things that we discussed there in that class was creating marriage contracts. My old joint don't listen to this show. I don't think so. But she used to tell us to make sure we create contracts in our marriages, right, when we get married. And it wasn't from a prenup perspective. It was, she wanted a contract for everything. And she made us design this. And when I tell you I've looked for this shit, I've looked for it high and low and I can't find it. But she basically wanted us to design what that contract is going to look like based on holidays. What holidays do we spend with which side of the family? Then there had to be a contract asked for sex. Ooh. What is sex going to look like? What is our agreement with sex? What is it that we like and what we don't like? Like, she was so pro contracts on paper, black and white, blue or white, whatever the fuck have you.
Right.
Because she felt like it was a form of commitment. Like, yeah, you
Right.
sign a marriage certificate and a marriage license to
Right.
be married. But then there's everything else that makes up a marriage. And so when you think of the prenup, the prenup does entail the financial aspect of things, but then there's everything else, right?
Yeah.
And so
a lot.
when you look at it, I think the prenup is probably even the easiest fucking contract you sign, to be honest. My opinion. Because if I sign a contract today of how I like to get fucked, 5 years from now, I might want to get fucked a little differently, and it's gonna change.
Yeah, hello.
So I'm gonna need to revisit that contract.
Ooh.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I can't subscribe to that. I may want a little bit of bondage, maybe. I don't know.
Hello.
On Wednesdays. And if you're telling me no, yeah, Wednesdays, because Wednesday we drink wine.
Oh, heard you.
But yeah, I can't subscribe to that because I just feel like we mentioned in the beginning of the episode, we're forever changing. Change is inevitable. And I may not, the person I was at 24, I'm not the same person I was at 31. And I feel like people don't have the tough conversations. This is my little philosophy, and I'm going to say this again because I haven't said this in about a year and a half now. When I'm dating somebody, it's like the presidency. You get 4 years to rock out with me. And if by year 4, if I should know what I need to know to reelect you or not, because you know what the T is, boo boo. And if I happen to extend your presidency over here in my world and you fuck me over, I can blame myself because I saw the red flags. They didn't turn white in the wash, and I got comfortable. And a lot of times we don't have the conversations because you can say one thing and do another. Or you can say, if this ever happened to me, I would leave. But you never know what your breaking point is until you're actually faced with that scenario. Can I say this? I'm going to say this. So, once upon a time, not long ago, I used to be a not whole number. Yeah, I used to be a I mean, I'm still hoe adjacent, but I'm trying to be better. So I was cheated on some years ago, and I always told myself, like, if that was the case, I'm out. Now eventually, because I stayed years, I stayed years after that, but we never had the conversation as to why I stayed. It was just it was very much so circumstantial, just because of where I was. And I didn't know how to navigate that without that person. So it was a business at that point. But once I got my shit together, it was like, okay, we're out. But at that moment, I didn't live up to what I said I was going to do because I always told myself if that ever happened to me, I'm out. And I didn't do that because it all kind of depends on where you are and what you're able to do for yourself. And nobody wants to be asked out. And if you live with somebody or they're, your way to work or, you live in the same house together, I'll shake the table, but not where I live at. Like, I want my home to be peaceful. I want it to be peaceful. And again, back to the no fuck you rule, we had a bunch of like little rules with kind of like a verbal agreement where it's like, okay, we're not going to do these things because it's going to cause you to react in this way. So whenever that happens, we know to not go to bed mad, not let shit fester for a week, because if you give me a week to think about some shit, by next Monday, oh, you're fired, baby. We're done. We're done, because leaving me alone with my thoughts and we're not having a conversation about nothing, I'm going to have the worst scenario in my head. Like, okay, well, you're done. You don't want to be, it's like giving a pink slip. It's like, you don't show up for work, you're fired. Is it a no call, no show? Right. Is in my book, it's not. No call. You ain't doing nothing. You not texting nothing. Oh, okay, let me get somebody else on the line. What's going on? And I can't. Yeah. We can't rock anymore because it's like you're now breaking the agreement. And Rima's sister Chani, left her to death. She gave me this. We were talking in the car one day, I think like 2 weeks ago, and she says she never puts any kind of rules on a person that she's dealing with, whether they're dating or business, whatever. She never wants them to be a certain way. She kind of just goes with the flow. And she says, you only hold people to a higher standard, people you have agreements with. That you spoken to, where it's like, hey, this is what we're going to do. So based on our agreement with each other, I'm going to think, not pressure you to be this way, but I'm going to think you're going to uphold that. But if you don't, I can't be mad, because me being mad doesn't help me or help you. I'm just going to be mad and blowing hot air and being upset for what, when I can just say, you know what, they're human, I'm going to give them grace. Now, I'm not really a fan of giving grace. Fuck that. But when she said that, I said, you know what? I probably could have handled that a little better, but I'm working on me. But I felt like now that I'm in a space where it's like, okay, if we have an agreement, you may follow it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but you may fuck up on Friday. And you could fuck up, maybe, but I should be able to not come down so hard on you for your fuck up, because we all fuck up. For example, with Shakari, or how do you say her name? Is it
Shakari?
Shakari. I think it's Shakari. That's what I don't remember.
You just did a hybrid between Shakari and Shakira.
Yeah, I think it's Shakira. I think it's Shakari. I don't know. But with her, that one mistake she made, and she was going through a lot of shit. She's human. We all fuck up. But we don't like to discuss our fuck ups. And like you mentioned before, it's always good for somebody to speak your failures and speak your success. Because it's easy. It's easy. There's always somebody wanting to like high five. Oh, she fucked up, great. But when you're doing good, it's crickets.
They don't be watching.
It's Jiminy.
Yeah.
They don't want to do that, because people think that bigging you up for your success makes them feel like tarnishes them. It doesn't. You bigging me up makes you look like, it's like we can all win together. But I just feel like people are not having the conversations in reference to, oh, if this goes left, like, how do you respond in an argument? Are you a thrower? Do you throw shit? Do you walk away? Like, how am I supposed to respond to you? Do you want me not to touch you when you're in a situation where you're like fucking mad? And it's like, okay, because I'm like, give me a hug. You're like, no. And you punch me. Oh, now we fighting and we in jail. Because I'm going to fight you back.
What kind of love language is that?
Oh, it's called aggressive Aries. That's what it's called. I'm working on it though.
Oh, that was amazing. Now we both in jail. Who gonna bail us out?
Yeah, because there's no wind down crew bell fun. They need to start it, because I almost went to jail 2 weeks ago, but I did very good.
I'm gonna need you to spill this tea on one of them pots. Oh, you pulling out the red cup? Okay, saw that.
You see, it's very much on brand. You see it
on brand.
Yeah. All I can say, it was Memorial Day, and Rima saved me. She called me in the nick of time, and I got on the phone. I said, "Yeah, I'm pissed. I should leave here." She said, "You should leave." So she told me that, and because I was finna, I'm gonna say this, I was finna burn the house down with him inside it. Okay.
Oh.
Left eye, I would have been in jail looking like,
burn.
I do it again.
Motherfucker.
Cause listen, would have burned all this shit the fuck to the ground. Okay, because he tried me. But shout out to him. He's still living.
I could see Court coming out on a reel with that touchdown song. Burn, 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 burn.
Period.
On some left eye shit, burning down the whole damn house.
I was gonna burn that shit down. But Rima called me and said it's not worth it. So I said, okay, great.
It's not. Honestly, I've taken from someone who, and I listen, I've shared this on my platform, and it's never my proudest moment, but I'm the type, I pull out weapons. I don't throw things, but I pull out weapons. And so I'm definitely a better human being today. So you know how I say I don't cook in the kitchen?
Oh, nice. Gotcha.
Yeah. There's a reason why I stay away from the kitchen, to be honest with you.
Okay, great.
I feel like I've subjected myself to my own PTSD. But yeah, no, seriously.
That makes sense.
Yeah. but yes, I got issues. But you gotta know, like, you have to know how far you can go to be able to know how to control that and change that and better that, right? So I commend you for that, for even knowing that you needed to step away from a situation that really seriously could have gone all the way the fuck left. You know, people probably like, oh, you know, they fucking crazy, or people probably think,
oh yeah,
that
all the time.
that ain't it. They talking shit. No, you don't know how far people could get triggered and how far that reaction can go. You know, and I guess in a sense, it's like, you know, I'm going to be my own devil's advocate right now. I guess when we think about policies and rules and contracts, agreements, prenups, I guess in a way that is a form of having some form of management and control in a relationship. Not to say who's controlling who, but more so how to be able to find a form of balance, I guess, or whether it's in what your responsibilities are, or what your commitment is. I guess in a way it is that. But even to add to what Rima's sister said, it's like the expectations we hold people to, whether it's on paper or not. You know what I mean? Like I hold people so accountable to their word.
Yep.
Like if you tell me you want something, or you tell me you're going to do something, I'm going to hold you to that. Yeah. You know, it's the way you're coming at me, how you're delivering it to me, and whether I agree to it or not, and then I'm going to hold you to that, because the moment you break that, that's a problem. Yep. That's like you going and fucking up a contract you and I just made, or fucking up our business deal. Like that's how violated I feel when somebody breaks their word, because word is bond. So it's like, period. Yeah, no, I'm that type of person. I am that type of person. And, you know, it is true. Like, I guess maybe that's where my downfall is. First of all, I've given some gentlemen, I'm calling them gentlemen, I've given some gentlemen second terms that they did not deserve in the presidency. Let's just say that. They had no business in this office.
Baby, me too.
And I've given them reelected at all. At all. Why did anybody let me vote? I don't know. But somebody needed to stop me from that. And two, and two, I just can't. Take this ballot,
yo. Don't read me, D. Don't read me, D. Don't read me, because I didn't. It was an absentee ballot, baby. I don't know. I wasn't there.
Not an absentee ballot. He wasn't even there.
Somebody filled it in for me, because I don't know what the fuck happened. I must have been drunk, baby. What's going on? That was surprise bullshit. Okay, surprise bullshit. I'm like, bullshit. Damn. How did I get here? It's been how many years? Woo.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. No, absolutely. The second thing I wanted to say was, I think maybe it's a moment right now to have to definitely revisit all my high expectations that I hold people to. Maybe I need to do that part too.
Yeah.
Perhaps I'm gonna need to.
Or
do that.
was she off? Yeah. Or what she told me was right, and she told me to not expect anything, but set a standard for yourself. So if you set a standard for yourself, and you know you let people know, like, this is my standard for myself. You're not like bound to this, but for me, this is how I'm going to treat you. And in return, I would hope that you would do the same. But if you don't, that's okay. Because when you say that, you release the onus. You like, okay, listen, I already told you what I'm rocking with, so there was no confusion. And I'm like, that's some bullshit. But when I started trying it, I'm like, because now I'm not as mad as I was about it. I can still deal with you, just not how I dealt with you before, because I'm big on, like you said, I'm big on your word. So like, I can forgive you, but I probably won't ever trust you again. Because once trust is broken for me, it's like a mirror. Once it's broken, you can't really fix it. If you do, it's not going to be the same. Because once you say that to me, and you're like, I'm believing what you're saying. And again, in my book, everybody gets like a clean slate. Like, you get trust off the bat from me because I feel like I should, until you give me a reason not to trust you. And then when it's like, whoa, this how you moving? Okay, now I'm looking at you sideways. But instead of me getting mad and wanting to like stab you, like you said, with the knives, I'm just going to like fall back and move a little bit different, so that I'm not compromising myself or my standard for myself. So only person I'm holding accountable now is myself, because I can't control you. I can control me. And now that I know that, and I'm like applying that, I'm like, I feel better. I still get mad. I still may want to punch you in the face, but I don't, because if I do that, I'm letting myself down, and I don't want to let myself down.
Right. Amen to that. Oh, between Miss Tabitha Brown, and Court right now preaching. I'm here for this. I'm here for it.
Tequila.
It's a tequila. I don't think Miss Tabitha Brown was drinking tequila, but if she was, she was drinking anything, she needs to tell us what it was. Because that prayer, prayer was everything for me. Yes. I'm here for it. I am. Holding yourself accountable and being able to control that. I think that's definitely something that I'm still working on. And I'm still pushing forward with. And I need to get better with that. I have to admit that I need to get better with that. For myself, because you're right. Like, and I've definitely said this before. We can't control other people. We can't control what they do, what they say. We can't do none of that.
No.
But I guess the one thing I have been able to master lately is the way I respond to things. I've been able to control that. I've been able to manage that, whether I'm even choosing to respond to anything or not. Right. I want to believe that in the case of Miss Tabitha Brown, her choosing so wisely in just responding, but also the way she responded, you got to give it to her. To your point of accountability and taking it back to Sha'Carri, because that's exactly how we brought this whole thing up. She wasn't trying to, finesse herself out of the situation. She held herself accountable, and she stepped up and she said what she had to say. Right. Very professionally, very transparently, very vulnerable. And people appreciated that. People appreciate that way of being. Right. I definitely am one of those human beings that I have to get better in those areas because I do a good job with it, but there's always room for improvement. But it's also still to this day, it's definitely my delivery of things. I got to fix my face, my eyes, and then my tone.
Yeah. With me, it's the hands. I always do the gun hand. Like, what the fuck? And that's where it's threatening. I do that at work too. That's why I'm at home working, because I've definitely been in the office a couple times because I didn't threaten somebody, but it was how I was talking real aggressive. Just because
and they
she
felt
tried
that you
me.
Was.
Yeah, especially when you do the two, like, what the yeah, I'm real with the hands with it. Like, what happened? And it's like, oh, Courtney, you got to use the whole name. Calm down, sir. You're not at home.
Put your hands down.
Yeah, but I don't. That's how I talk. So I was like, let me just
do that's me.
Now I just fold my hands and I do like a nice little head nod. Really? Like, now watch him out.
Really?
Keep it cute. Cause if not, you want this or you want this. Which one do you want? Which do you prefer?
My classic line. Let me tell y'all, because
I know options.
I know this is gonna go like this. You see that? You see those two lines right there?
Oh, baby, I have a vein in my. Listen, I
don't pops?
See it when I'm pissed. Oh, Incredible Hulk. Yeah, all the way out.
Ooh, really?
All the way.
Nah, yo, these two lines right here.
When I'm baby, it's bad.
It's like this. So what I do now is to add to my expression so people don't really take it for what it is. My line is, and the ones who know me know this, I'm a little bit confused. And I stay like this because I can't control the forehead and this right here. But I go, I'm a little bit confused. And I'm like, explain yourself. Because what I'm really saying is, what the fuck did you say? Like, what are you saying? Like, what? Like, I know you did not say that. Yeah. So that's my line. It's I'm a little bit confused. I'm sorry. Like, I'm confused. Repeat yourself.
It's a head tilt, cross the hands and say, excuse me. I'm sorry. I wasn't clear on that what you said, because you got to make sure you did the workplace. Oh my God, I'm so sorry you said that. Oh my God, did you really say? Oh my God, I misinterpreted what you said. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. My mistake. But if you try that shit again, it's gonna be a problem for me, you, and HR. You have a blessed day. Because saying have a blessed day is like saying fuck you. What it's like, when it's like, have a blessed day, like with a smile, say have a blessed day. It's like, it's like icing on cake. But again, I'm trying to be better. But when it's the hit. Yeah. You gotta tilt your head and, excuse me. You gotta get the workplace.
So I'm a master it. Yeah. I'm gonna hold myself this way.
Yeah, I'm a little bit confused. Say that. Just practice it. Yeah, like, I'm a little bit.
It works.
I'm a little bit confused. Help me help you understand what you said.
I got this, y'all.
It was the most translation, maybe. I don't know. Listen, at the new job, listen, try it. You gonna have a great day. I'm trying to tell you.
That's it. That's gonna be my way. That's gonna be my way to do it. That's right, y'all. I got this new job down pat, y'all.
Period. Okay.
Courtesy of Courtney 101. Don't nobody tell me nothing. All right, we're gonna go into the third and last segment, the overdose, and this is when we go on a quick rant on something that pissed us off, or we can share something that has us on a good vibe. So so as you know, we always gotta make it a little messy here. So I'm gonna make this messy, but it's also gonna be like, all right, I'm not gonna make a mess. All right, I'm gonna make it messy. Y'all, like, be aware. Be very, very aware. Beware of your own emotions, and don't allow yourself to get entangled or get twisted in bullshit. Like Courtney but I don't want surprise bullshit. Don't surprise yourself with your own bullshit. I want to give a shout out to one of my closest friends. I'm not going to incriminate him because it's not what I do here. But y'all, my friend saved me. When I tell you, I've been talking so much crap about wanting to have a relationship with someone in the near future and all this shit. And I found myself 2.5 seconds away from going back to an ex. And it was, as much as I joked about it, and I joked about it, I put it on my social media. I was very close. I was close. Like, as close as the two lines on my forehead when they get upset. That's how close I was to hitting up this person. And my friend saved me. My friend was like, don't do this to yourself. Like, you're better than this. Like, you are doing so good for yourself. You're on the right path. Like, don't do this. And I want to share, and you know what? I was going to say something else for the overdose, but I want to share this now because to Court's point, what you said, and I joked about it just now, maybe we do need to look at our relationships as fucking presidential terms. And maybe like, this is my house. And some of y'all don't even deserve to complete the full term. Some of y'all don't deserve re-election. And we don't need to go back to previous, bullshit. Like, we just don't need to fucking do it. And I needed to be checked. I needed to have someone tell me, don't do this. You are doing so fucking good. Like, why are you going to go back to the bullshit?
Right.
And I had to put that shit out there because I talk so much about surround yourself with good people, positive people. Y'all, I've been working on that, making sure that I surround myself with just that. And I have some great people at my side, making sure that I stay on my right path, the path that I'm creating for myself. And that's definitely what I wanted to share. I wanted to get that off my chest. I feel like it sounds like a rant, and it is, but it's more so a good vibe because I feel good. I do feel good. I feel good that I did not go back to surprise myself with any bullshit.
And I'm happy you did not do that.
Thank you.
Very good. Very good. I second that statement you said.
Yes.
I'm going to be messy. So something that pissed me off this week, my little brother, shout out to him. Hey, Q.
Hey.
He's having a baby. Now, we're not really, how can I say this? So I'm supportive because this is my little brother and I love him to death.
Okay.
But my little brother is raggedy as fuck. So he calls me and I'm at work. I'm at home, but I'm at work. So he calls me twice. So I'm like, okay, let me answer the phone, figure out what's going on. And he says, hey, are you busy? I'm like, I'm at work. Are you on fire? He's like, no. I'm like, okay, well, what do you mean? He's like, well, I want to let you know that I'm having a baby. Okay, great. With who? Some girl. I'm like, okay. Are you in a relationship? Do you like her? Basic, older brother questions.
Right.
This little, he just,
cute.
So
what you do cute?
He says we were just hanging out. I'm not really sure what hanging out means. I'm kind of old, so I don't hang out. We were just hanging out, and things kind of happened, and now she wound up pregnant. So I said, well, did you want to have a baby? He says no. I said, so did you use a condom? He's like, no. I said, so you wanted a baby? He's like, no. I said, see, the math is not mathing because dick inserting a vagina with no condom is going to equal a baby. So I'm confused.
I'm confused.
Excuse me?
I'm sorry, what?
Excuse me? I'm confused. So, of course, because I'm at work and I have to answer phone calls from my job, I'm now pissed. Because I'm like, this is not making any sense. Yeah. And this is not his, like, I'm sorry, Q. This is not his first time with the pregnancy scare. So it's like, okay, little bro.
No,
we've had these talks before and you told me you were going to do better. And, you know, cool. But now it's a whole baby coming. So now I got to play like... I love everybody, but if I don't know you, I don't want to get to know you. But now I have you. Now I kind of have to, and because you're not really like in a relationship, so y'all pretty much are like essentially strangers. Now she's like a part of your life
forever.
So y'all were just hanging out, fucking, and you were not wearing a condom. And then, young lady, ma'am, why would you let my raggedy ass brother fuck you up?
Not my raggedy ass brother.
He's raggedy. He's raggedy. Q, you're raggedy.
No, so, you know what though? I feel you, because I be lecturing my brother too, my little brother.
I'm like, what the fuck? And like, she's young, so now I'm like, I'm just like, what's going on? Like, so now he calls me almost every day. I love him dearly, but he gets on my nerves. I feel you. And eventually, in about a week or two, I'll probably feel different. But I was like,
right. I feel you. I understand you 100%.
You don't want a baby.
It's not, no.
You had sex with no condom. It was like the condom like broke or like whatever, because you know things happen.
Right.
But you
that's not
said
what you're saying.
That's not what it was given. It was given surprise baby, but not really surprise because that's what happens. So
no, this is a surprise baby. It's definitely not part of the surprise bullshit, but it's a surprise baby.
Yeah, so I was perplexed and surprised on the phone, and it fucked my whole day up at work. Cause once I'm mad, it's hard for me to calm down.
Right.
And I was just like, you know what, just call me when I get off work. And I just had a shitty day, but now I feel a little better. But I want to let him know that he's raggedy. So, cause my show's on a break, so.
That's all right. That was your overdose segment of That's So Raggedy, and he just shared it.
Yeah,
regarding Q. And you know what? I'm not gonna leave him alone on this. I'm not. I'm gonna be very transparent. I do believe my brother listens to this, and I just want my little brother to know that I mean it when I said he better marry that girl. Cause I'm not here to try and meet nobody new. I love her. I like her. I get along with her. I'm not trying to meet nobody new. I don't like everybody. I don't
even know sis.
No.
I mean, she's nice. She's a cute girl. We talked on FaceTime, but I didn't want to talk to her because I wanted to curse him out. But you know, now I'm trying to be cordial.
Now you gotta be cordial because it's gonna be, you know, little niece or nephew's mama. So you gotta be cordial at least. Oh, Q. I wish you would have talked to me first before you did this shit.
I'm over it.
Period. I can't. Wow, that was an intense overdose, but it's not. I need some of y'all to speak to your people. And if you have no children yet, please don't do this to yourself. Please think. I said it about 2 weeks ago. I joked about it. I say it a million times over and over again. I'm in a good space today with my son's father, but y'all, you have to make sure you know who you're having kids with. You have to make sure you know who. Don't do it to yourself, y'all. Take it from a woman who just knows what it's like to fight for custody. Don't do it to yourself. Just don't. All right. Well, that was a little messy.
Yes.
Jesus, save me, please. Help me. I need Miss Tabitha Brown's prayer right now. I can't, Court. I can't. I'm done. I'm so over myself. All right, y'all. Well, Court, do you want to let my listeners know where they can follow you and find you? Of course, you know I'm always going to put that in the show notes, but please just give them a reminder.
Oh, well, it's KeepinitCourtt. You're dropping a G on keeping, and then court with 2 T's because, you know, fancy.
Yeah.
And then on every Monday, starting July 12th, you can catch me and my co-host and best friend Rima on our new podcast. Well, we call it RCC, but it's Breakup Confidential. It's coming out again July 12th.
Yes.
Come join us. And then in September, if you guys listen to the Wind Up Crew podcast, we're coming back with all the members. That is the plan. So we'll see you guys in the fall for that. But in the meantime, in between time, check out RCC. Follow both pages. I think the Instagram page is RCC Pod. So just RCC Pod on Instagram and on all the Twitter and things like that. And maybe a TikTok. We haven't discussed that yet, me and Rima, but we talked about it drunkenly over some tequila over this past weekend. So it's made. It's just not. We're drunk, so we have to make sure it's done correctly. So check that out and come join us over there with some music and some mess with me and Rima. If you guys heard her on Double Dose Raw Talk, you know that she is a character like myself, which is why I came back for a second episode.
Yes, that's right. That's right. You know that's right. Absolutely. And again, I'm so proud of you guys, and I'm just so excited. You guys know I cannot get enough of you guys. And if you're listening for the first time, I'm gonna need y'all also to go catch up before September to the Wind Down Crew pod. I never get tired of them either, but I'm just so excited. I'm just so excited that you guys are coming on, launching this new podcast.
It's been a work. You know when we first talked about it was been months ago, and you'll definitely be on there. We just gotta figure out how we're gonna do this. It definitely needs to be in person because we missed the live show. We had to record Wind Down Crew, so we either make a trip to New York or you come here.
Listen, I've been to Philadelphia. Don't play with me. I've been over there.
Come on down.
I have been over there. I can figure. Listen, I'm starting a new job, but I can let you know what that schedule looks like as soon as I know it, because it is going to be a flexible schedule and a little different. So I could definitely let you know, because I mean, who doesn't like a day trip? Who doesn't? Oh my God, this is such a good conversation. Thank you so much for having this talk with me. I definitely wanted to dive into it from all different angles. Again, here on this platform, we get comfortable being uncomfortable, and no topic is ever off limits. And you guys already know this has been another week and another episode on Double Dose of Raw Talk podcast. As always, I'm your host, Misty, and you guys will tune in next week. Bye. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter. And we are live on your favorite podcast streaming platform. Make sure to tell a friend to subscribe, rate, and review. Talk to you later. Bye.